Okay, hello everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who haven't met before, my name is Erin O'Brien. I am a Thermomix consultant and team leader based in Druin in Victoria. And tonight, myself and my team, the Mix Masters, are bringing you a virtual cooking class all about layered cooking. So those of you who know me will know that I absolutely love layered cooking. I think it is one of the best features of the Thermomix, the ability to layer up and cook your entire meal at once. And I know that there are quite a few of you who are not making the most of this feature. So I really want to be able to show and explain that to you a bit more and hopefully teach you guys something new that you can that will help you get the most out of your Thermomix. So I'd love you to pop in the chat box where you're watching from tonight. Do you have a Thermomix? And if you do, what model do you have? And perhaps what you're hoping to get out of tonight. So myself and a couple of the consultants from our team will be cooking, but there are a few more consultants from our wonderful team in the chat box tonight to help us with all of your questions. So please don't hesitate to pop anything in there. The girls are amazing and they will help you as we go. We do have quite a bit to get through tonight, so we're going to get cooking straight away. I think I'm anticipating this class will go for about an hour and 15 at a maximum. So hopefully that suits you all just fine. But we are going to head on over to Jess, who's going to get us cooking straight away.
Hi everyone. So I'm Jess. I am Thermal Life on the Farm. And on Instagram and socials, I am Thermal Life on the Farm on Instagram and socials, but I'm actually based in the Wimmera, so up in Canaiva. Tonight I am going to make sticky pork belly. So I'll just show you here. I'll just go to my week. When that loads, here's the recipe here. So I've got sticky pork belly with jasmine rice. I'm going to click on start cooking. And it says to place a 300-gram rinsed rice into the Varoma bundt tin. So I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but these are new in the mix shop. They're our Varoma bundt tins. I'm just going to place that on top. And I'll just go into the scales here. And I'm just going to pop in my rice. Now I don't have jasmine rice, but I do have basmati. We're just going to weigh that straight in. Okay. And then we're going to set that aside. So next, we're going to place another bowl onto the mixing bowl lid. There. And we're going to pop in 10 grams of the dried shiitake mushrooms. So has anyone made this recipe before? It's one of the newer ones on Cookie Do. But there we go. And then we're just going to put 200 grams of water to soak the mushrooms. So again, we just can weigh straight into it because we're using the scales. There we go. And now we're going to pop that aside. The next, and we've got 80 grams of brown sugar. That in. And 2 garlic cloves. And here as well. I'm going to put in 3 because I always put in more garlic than I need to. And then some ginger as well. Pop that in. We'll put the lid on. And we're just going to do 5 seconds on speed 10. So this is probably going to cut me out. It'll be very loud. All right. So I'm going to show you what that looks like now. It's all nicely minced up in there. So we're making Oh, it smells delicious. We are making the marinade for the pork. So we've got to put in 50 grams of water. Okay. We're just going to place the simmering basket on the top, which I haven't got out. Okay, pop that on top there so the steam can come out, but it's going to stop all the splatter. And we're just going to go 5 minutes on the stirring mode at 120 degrees. So I'll let that go and pass on to someone else.
Amazing. Thank you, Jess. All right. So I am going to get cooking as well now. Tonight, I'm also cooking a pork dish, but this is one that could be used with any kind of protein. You could use a chicken. I've often done it with a bit of pork and then a bit of chicken for the kids. Yeah, it's super flexible and you can do it to suit you and your family. So I'm going to go up into my week and I have got it meal planned out there, and it is the pork tenderloin with carrots and pesto potatoes. Has anyone made this recipe before? It is absolutely delicious. So like normal, you can scroll down. There are a couple of hints and tips down the bottom, which I'll cover and chat through as I go. But otherwise, we are just going to hit start cooking. Now, the first couple of steps on this recipe are a marinade as well, but we've just seen Jess make a marinade, so I don't think we need to repeat that again. So I have pre-done that, and we are just going to just next on past those. So it's just adding a few ingredients and then combining them all and marinating the pork in that. And then we're going to move on to making the pesto. So into the bowl now, we are going to place 3 ounces of Parmesan cheese, just roughly chopped. So just popping those in there. So this recipe, as you can see or hear, is in ounces. Obviously, your TM6 being a smart device will automatically convert the scales over to that. So you don't have to do any calculations or anything. It's all done for you. So next again, and now it's just going to chop that up. 15 seconds on speed 10. Zoom will mute me out for this because it will be a bit loud. So I'll see you in 15 seconds. Just grabbing my spatula there. All right, so the next step is just telling us, which I'll explain as I keep going. So that's that Parmesan all grated up there, and that's 15 seconds. So this recipe does use, if you were going to do the recipe, I suppose, as it is, it uses baby carrots and then uses the carrot tops as part of the pesto. So I have plenty of carrots in the fridge already, so I wasn't going to buy baby carrots specifically for this recipe. So the hints and tips on the bottom of it, and it does say here, explain that you can use any kind of greens instead. So I'm just going to use some spinach tonight instead. So we're going to next on past that, and into there now we are going to place 1 ounce of pine nuts. Who loves making pesto with the Thermomix? It's actually one of my favourite things. I absolutely love a fresh pesto. And they're so versatile as well. 1 garlic clove. And then, so that's saying that 1.5 ounces of reserved carrot tops. But like I said, we're just going to use spinach instead. So I'm going to pop that straight in there. And then 1.5 ounces of fresh basil leaves as well. So again, just popping that straight in. And then 5.5 ounces of olive oil. So this, as you'll see in a minute, does make quite a bit as well. So it is more than what you'll need for this recipe. So you can just store it in the fridge, use it as a dip, use it for other, pesto. There's heaps of pesto recipes on Cookidoo that you can use it in. I've got oil on my fingers. Popping the lid back on. Next again. Now we've just got 15 seconds on speed 8. again. So I'll show you what that's done so far. So that's all kind of pulverized that. It's just telling us to scrape down the sides. So by doing that, we're just pushing it all back down to the blades. So we're going to, as you'll see in a second, we're going to give it one more quick chop just to make sure we've got it all and there's no, big pine nuts or big bits of garlic in there to surprise us. So we're just going to push it all down to the blades and then give it another chop. Next again. Put oil up from my fingers on the screen. So 10 seconds on speed 5 this time. Next one more, and it's just telling us to transfer that to a bowl and set it aside. So again, there's that beautiful pesto. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. Anyone buying jars of pesto or anything like that at the moment? Or did you pre-getting a Thermomix? Obviously, so much better to make it for yourself. You know exactly what's in it. Often far cheaper as well. All right. So now it does tell us to rinse the mixing bowl in this step, but I honestly think that's unnecessary because you're just using it as steaming water. So I'm just going to skip that. And now it's telling us to pop in 24 ounces of water. I've just boiled the kettle. So when you're doing any kind of, I suppose, laid cooking or any steaming with your Thermomix, it's just, it's telling us to just put in water, but you can use hot water or boiling water, and it's just going to speed up the process a bit more for you. So I'll find tonight that the pork and potatoes might cook a bit quicker. If you were doing a pasta or something like that, that same thing. There'll be some recipes that will add a heating step, like 10 minutes to heat the water or whatever. So you could skip that or reduce it to save time. So into there now, we're going to place our simmering basket with 20, and then we would put in 20 ounces of potatoes quartered. So I've already done that for us to save the time again. So literally just going to pop that in the mixing bowl. Next, it is telling us to grab our varoma. Put the lid on first, might help, won't it? This is where that real layered cooking is coming in, guys. We're just going to continuously layer it up so that it's all cooked at once. Into there now is telling us to pop a piece of baking paper. And then pop the pork onto that. Let's quickly grab that. There is a piece of pork loin that has been marinating there for a little while. I'm just going to pop that straight on, and we're just going to set the marinade aside because we were going to use that to make into a bit of a sauce later as well. We're just going to put that straight on the top. And then we're going to put the varoma tray on. So that's, again, just another layer. So is the next layer. And then on top of that, we are going to put our carrots. We're going to pop the lid on. And then we've got 20 minutes of cooking time, turning its speed selector to 2. So it's got it set at varoma temperature. Varoma temperature is the machine will calculate. So enough temperature, enough steam to cook what is in the varoma. So depending on what you've got going on, what you've got in the base of your Thermomix, what liquid, whether it's a sauce or water, it will vary what temperature it needs to get to create enough steam to cook what is in the varoma. So it's very clever. And yeah, that's it. That's our pork going. You will see, we'll come back shortly. Oh, actually, I did just want to show you how we can use our sensor to test our pork. So I can quickly do that while it's cooking. So this is our new sensor. It is part of our gift with purchase when you purchase a Thermomix at the moment. It is a Bluetooth enabled food thermometer. And all we're going to do is I'm just going to put it in and then I'll show you. You're just going to pop it into the thickest part of your meat. Hopefully I can show you that to be out there. Popping it in there. And then we can go on to our Thermomix. So while it's cooking, we just press the home button and you'll go back to your home screen. Swipe across, oh gosh, swipe across to the right to your mode screen. And then you should have one that says Thermomix Sense. So we're going to select that. And then we are going to tap the temperature icon of it. And then from here, it's self-explanatory really. You can select what meat you want. So we are obviously going to click pork. We're going to click roast. And then there is an option for loin there. And then it advises you kind of what temperature to pick. So for a medium done pork loin, you would select 63 degrees. And then we can just hit send. It's just telling us exactly how to insert the probe, but we've already done that. And there you go. Now it is ready to cook and it will let us know when it's done. There is another step in the middle where we remove our potatoes and keep cooking. But in, the off chance that the pork is done first, it will let us know so that we don't overcook it. The sensory is one of my favorite things. I'm obsessed with it, to be honest. You can use it for all kinds of things. You can use it for meats, breads, cakes, pretty much anything. Let me know in the chat box if you've already got one and do you love it. But yeah, that will do its thing while our Thermomix cooks. How are you going, Jess? Are you ready for your next step?
Yep, you can jump back over to me. All right, so that has like caramelized the sugar and the ginger and the garlic, so it smells delicious. And we're going to go on, so we're going to pop in some thick spring onions that are chopped, just roughly chopped like that. 30 grams of light soy sauce. You do find once you've got a Thermomix, you've got a lot more, need a fair few more sauces than that when you first start. But once you've got them in the cupboard, it makes cooking a lot easier and the flavors are so much better. So now we need another 30 grams of dark soy sauce. Pop that straight in as well. We need 20 grams of oyster sauce. Come out. More of that in a minute. And then 40 grams of the Chinese cooking wine. Put that here. Always be careful when you put in liquids because the scales do jump up that bit quicker. You don't want to go too over. So now we need the pork belly. So I'll just grab that. So we've just got the pork belly here. It was just rineless and without the bone, and I've just chopped it into chunks. So I just got that at the butcher. It was really easy just to go in there and ask him for exactly what I wanted. That's a little bit over, but that won't matter. All right, so now we need 100 grams of the water that we were soaking the mushrooms with. So I'll just pour some of that in. Perfect. All right, and then we are going to pop on the lid and the simmering basket. And it's going to cook for 20 minutes at 120 degrees, just on the speed one. So as like Erin explained before, I could just hit this preview button and then I know that the next step I'll be putting the rice on in the Varoma. But that's it done now for 20 minutes, so I can go off and do something else.
Amazing, thanks, Jess.
No
let us know
worries.
when your 20 minutes is up and we'll pop back and see how you layer that up.
Yep,
all right,
sure.
We will pop on over to see Lisa now.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm Thermomix for 6. I'm in Lang Lang in Victoria, and I've been a consultant for about a bit over 3 years now. So tonight we're going to be making meatballs in red pepper sauce. This is a regular in our house. We have it a multitude of different ways. Sometimes we might have it with baguettes. Sometimes we might have it with chips and veg, just lots of different ways. It's very versatile and super quick. So we'll start cooking. Our first step is 150 grams of brown onions cut into quarters. So I've got them ready to go. Some bacon. So this is 2 brineless bacon rashers, approximately 100 grams. 40 grams of day-old bread, crust removed. I've actually just got crust here. So we try and not waste anything in our house. So crusts, if they don't get eaten, they go in the freezer and they get made into breadcrumbs or for recipes like this. So that's what these are. Some parsley. Now I don't have any fresh, so I'm just going to use some dried. Just says 2 sprigs. Parmesan cheese, this is optional. Certain people in my family do not like parmesan cheese, so we're going to leave that out tonight. I'm going to pop our lid on and mix it all up. So 5 seconds, speed. Next step is to scrape down the mixing bowl. So that's chopped it down quite finely. Has anyone made this recipe before, or any other meatballs in the Thermomix? The aroma is great to steam them. It means you're not having several different dishes, everything's all in one. So adding our mince now, so just 500 grams of beef mince. Some Italian herbs. So I don't have a mixture of herbs, so I'm just going to chuck in some oregano, some rosemary, and some basil. As you can see, I'm just chucking in. I'm not actually measuring it exactly. Some sweet paprika. We need 1 teaspoon, so I'm just going to guesstimate that one. Next, some salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of, and again, lid on. Next, and this is 15 seconds, speed 7. It might mute me out here. Next step is to transfer into a bowl and set aside. So I'm just going to put it in this bowl here. I'll actually just give it another go just to mix it around. I put a little bit extra beef in tonight, so I might just chuck it back on for a little bit longer, and we should be good. So if you need to go back a step, you can just hit the back arrow. I'm going to actually shorten it down to about 8 seconds, and we're going to go again for 7 speed. So as you can see, if you put a little bit extra in, it does take a little bit longer to mix it together, but that's much better now. So all I need to do is to roll that into the meatballs, which I will do off camera, and move on to the next step. Okay, it does say to clean and dry the mixing bowl. I'm not going to bother about doing that because all the flavors are still going to be in the bowl. It's all going to be cooked together, so I'm not going to waste my time doing that. So we've got some oil, 20 grams of olive oil. And some more onions, 150 grams of brown onions. And garlic clove, oops, I chucked that in at the same time, that's already in. Now next is 20 grams of sultanas. We do not like sultanas in our house, so we will not be putting them in. It does say in the tips and tricks you can use some sugar, so I'm just going to pop in a teaspoon of sugar instead. And 100 grams of ripe tomatoes cut into quarters. And lid on. And 10 seconds, speed 8. Our next step is 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I hope I said that right. I always seem to get it confused. I will measure this one because I just don't want to put in too much. And 250 grams of roasted red peppers. So these are good to go. Next, 100 grams of water. So this is just making the sauce. We're going to pop the lid on and place the simmering basket on top. And this is going to cook for 10 minutes at 120 degrees at speed to reverse. Back to you, Erin.
Amazing. Thanks, Lisa. So I just wanted to point out to you guys, I know sometimes I think we move around so much in these virtuals, it's hard to get the real concept of how much hands-free time there is. So, you know, if you're making any of these recipes, in this time where one of us is not cooking, we're just standing around. So I know realistically in my other life, I'd be doing the washing, I'd be, you know, bathing the kids, all of those other things. So you are free to do those things. So just want to remind you of that because, yeah, I think when we jump around, you don't really get the same idea of it. But I'm going to start a new recipe now. This one, I am going to show you how you can make a veggie packed pasta by doing the sauce, the pasta and the veggies all at once, layering them up. So you're going to go up into My Week. Now, this recipe is a cookie dough recipe, but one of the newer features of cookie dough is the ability to scale recipes. So you can increase the quantity, you know, if space allows, or you can decrease the quantity, which I think is amazing, especially for those that, you know, might be just cooking for 1 or 2, or, you know, yeah, people that are cooking for a bigger family. So this original recipe actually serves 8. It makes a huge amount of pasta, which is bulked out a lot by all of those vegetables. But because we've already making our dinner for tomorrow night, I have halved our recipe tonight. So this is just going to be a bit of a smaller serving that we, yeah, not going to have too much food left over. So I have already halved it and menu planned it for our week. Who's using the recipe scaling function of the TM6 of Cookie Dough? Let me know in the chat box. I think it was a long-awaited function. Everybody absolutely was asking for it for quite some time and absolutely loves it now. So again, we're going to start cooking. Because I have halved it, the screen is going to look slightly different because I've adjusted it, but it's all still in guided cooking. So we're going to hit next. So into the bowl, we are going to place carrot, onion and garlic. And I don't know if you can see super well on here, but they're underlined. So to bring up the scales when we're in kind of this kind of more, I suppose, different visual screen of the cookie dough, you can just tap any of the words that are underlined and it will bring it into you. So into there, because I've halved it, it says half a carrot, half an onion and half a garlic clove. My carrots are small, so I've just done a full one. Again, onions were pretty small too, full one, garlic. We've already mentioned it a few times, but always remember that guided cooking is just a guide. You know, you can do it to suit you and your family as well. Just need to grab my measuring cup, guys. I'm really sorry. I've got that many different parts and pieces going here. Always forget at least one thing. We're going to pop that on and then we're going to chop it 3 seconds on speed 7. Anyone made this recipe before? Pop it in the chat box and let me know. So now we're going to add the olive oil. Other side. Oh, that onion is strong. 20 grams. Oh, golly. It's got me there. And then we're going to pop the lid back on. And now we're just going to saute that. So 2 minutes, 120 degrees on speed 1. So that is just going to kind of mimic what we would do if we were making this sauce in the frying pan. It's going to heat it up and stir it at the same time. So give that a saute. So while that is going, our pork and potatoes and carrots have about another 3 minutes left of the cook time. I just wanted to show you because I don't think I'm not sure if I explained it super well before. So you can, like I said, use the sensor even if it is not. So some of our recipes, some of the cookie dough recipes, once you have a sensor, will prompt you to put it in. But not all of them have that function yet. They're slowly, because the sensor is quite a very new attachment. They have to kind of, test. All cookie dough recipes are triple tested. So, they're going to test them all and slowly add the sensor option to all of the recipes. So because this one isn't yet, that's why I swiped across to that right side and used the sensor mode while it was cooking. So once I've kind of set the sensor, from here we're back in our normal cook screen, but I can scroll down from the top and it has the sensor in there. These onions are killing me tonight. Just going to move that right out of the way for a second. So that's got the sensor in there now. So you won't be able to see clearly, but it's estimating about 10 minutes to go, and that it is at, it's set in Fahrenheit again because of the recipe. So it's at 98 of 145 Fahrenheit at the moment. So yeah, it will let us know when it's done, and it might be slightly quicker because obviously it's going to depend on the pork piece, how thick it is, how big it is, and all of that. So it might be quite slightly quicker than the recipe says. It might be slightly longer, but we're going to get perfectly cooked pork every time. Your sensor can be used in the oven. It can be used in an air fryer, smoker, pretty much anywhere you cook things. Not your pizza oven, that gets a little bit too hot. But yeah, really versatile, and yeah, you can use it for cakes, all kinds of different things. I did see one of the consultants in the chat before is hoping to earn hers as part of our booster rewards. So obviously it is available as a gift with purchase, coupled with our glider board, which helps you move your Thermomix around safely without damaging the scales, and our blade cover peeler. So they're a little bundle that is free with purchase of your Thermomix at the moment. It's an incredible bundle. They've all been chosen because they are the most popular products for new owners. They're the things that are most purchased when someone buys a Thermomix. But yes, the sensor is also available from the Mix Shop, or you do have the option to join our amazing team and earn one as well. So we are going to continue on with our pasta now. Hopefully that onion's calming down a little bit. So into there now we are going to place 330 grams of water. So tell me, guys, who is using layered cooking? Who feels like they really they love it as much as we do and are getting the most out of it? A 400-gram can of tomatoes. 15 grams of tomato paste. Yeah, pop it in the chat box. Are you loving layered cooking, or do you not feel like yet you're kind of getting the most out of it? For me, it's about the hands-free time. I love being able to layer everything up and walk away knowing that it is safe. It's, safe from, it's not on the stovetop that, the kids can accidentally touch. I'm going to put a bit of stock in there. I need to stop talking for a second and concentrate, sorry, or I'm going to mess it up. So the stock in there, and then we are going, so that's our sauce ingredients all sorted in there. Then we are going to take the lid off and put the aroma on the top. This is also now why I need guided cooking in my life. I'm too easily distracted. So into there now we are going to place a capsicum, zucchini, peas, mushrooms, and feta. And again, if you went into your scale section, it will tell you exactly what to put in. I have pre-weighed it, so I'm just going to kind of add it all in. So I'm just going to kind of layer it in. So capsicum, zucchini, and I'm going to use our tray as well to spread it all out so it cooks nice and evenly. Just again, continuing to lay that up. Capsicum, zucchini, it does call for mushrooms, but no one in my house likes mushrooms. So again, we're just going to leave that out. Some frozen peas and some feta as well. So that's just kind of cut or crumbled up a little bit. So just adding all of that in, and I'll just show you now. So you can see if you were making the full amount of this recipe, those 2 layers would be pretty chock-a-block, but we have just halved it tonight. So back out of there now, and it is then telling us to sprinkle with some salt and oregano and thyme. So I'll just quickly do that. Any questions, guys, please don't hesitate to pop them in the chat box. Like I said, the girls can answer them as we're going. And now it's just telling us 6 minutes of aroma, temperature, and speed 1. So if I go into the little blade symbol, that's all set for us. 6 for aroma, and we'll turn the speed selector to 1. Jess, are you ready to come back, or I keep going with the pork for now?
I've got about 2 minutes to go.
Perfect. I'll just keep going with this one. Sing out when you're ready.
Yep.
All right. So that first cook time is finished on my pork. So we're just going to hit next. It's just telling us to remove the varoma. So your varoma tray has a little flat spot on the top of it. So your varoma lid has a flat spot that you can sit the varoma on, because as you can see there, you're going to drip a bit of liquid, steaming liquid. So if you sit that on there, you're going to get less all over your bench. I'm going to show you what I'm doing and not just do it. I've cooked this recipe that many times because we love it. The next step is to remove the simmering basket. So you might be able to see there is a little video which shows you exactly how to do that safely. But all you need to do, this is another newer feature of the TM6, is these little instructional videos. They're great on some recipes that you might not be sure of, like breads and doughs and things. They'll show you exactly what you need to do. And then we are just going to use the back of our spatula to hook onto our simmering basket. I'm just going to place it in my thermoserver for a second and get that back cooking again. And now it's just telling us to put the varoma back on and cook for another 5 minutes and prolong the cooking time if needed until the pork's ready. So now we will literally just keep cooking until that sensor tells us it is cooked. So just sing out when you're ready. The next step of this is just to tip our cooked potatoes into a serving dish. So I use the thermoserver because it will keep your food hot or cold for up to 2 hours. And then you're going to add in a bit of your pesto. So that is our beautifully cooked potatoes there. And it says about 2 to 3 tablespoons, but obviously just go on how much you would like and add those into your potatoes. So your thermoservers are available as host rewards. Obviously, for those of you who have invited a guest along tonight, you can pick up one or one of our other great host rewards. Or if you're interested in hosting your own virtual or in-home demo at any stage, please reach out to a consultant. We would absolutely love to help you with that. Help you learn more. Things like, layered cooking and using your varoma you're struggling with, please let your consultant know. You can have as many demos as you want. We just want you guys to love and get the most out of your Thermomix. So if that means extra learning demos, we are absolutely here for it. So I'm going to pop the lid on them and they will stay hot for us, for about 2 hours, but obviously we won't need all of that while our pork finishes. But we'll head back to Jess and I think she's ready for us.
I am ready now. All right, so that has just done its 20-minute cook. I'll show you in here. It's just started to all start cooking in the sauce really nicely. I will also just scrape down the sides a little bit. As Erin said before, just push the food back down towards the blades a little bit, makes it cook a bit better. All right, so my next step is where my layered cooking comes into it. So it's asking me to get the varoma, place that on top. And I'm putting in, so the bundt tin that I was using before with the rice in it. So this is going to allow me to cook the rice at the same time the pork cook. What I'll actually do is move my machine back a little bit. So I'm just using the glider board there, as you can see, so I can just slide it back and forth. And that's one of the host rewards at the moment as well. So we're going to add in 400 grams of water now into the bundt tin there. So I'll just pour that straight in on the rice. Okay. And we're putting some salt. It's asking for a teaspoon of sesame oil. I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to pour a little bit on like that. And then we're going to pop in the drained mushrooms. Now, like what the other girls were saying, my family don't really like mushrooms, but I'm going to pop them in anyway because they're nice big pieces that the kids can just take them out. But they'll add the flavour, which will be good. I'll just give that a little bit of a stir. Make sure the rice is covered by the water. And then we just need to secure the varoma lid. So I'll just quickly tip you up a little bit so you can see in there. So that's our rice and our water and our mushrooms just in on top. Sorry if that made everyone feel a bit seasick. Now we're going to put the lid on like that. And we're just going to cook for another 25 minutes. So now it's just on the stirring mode, which is the slowest mode, and we're at varoma temperature. So like Erin said before, the machine will monitor the temperature to make sure it pushes all the steam up in to cook the rice. So the rice will just cook on top while the pork continues to cook. And we've got another 25 minutes to clean up the kitchen or sit down and have a glass of wine.
Amazing. Thanks, Jess. I think your idea of sitting down and having a glass of wine is much better than my folding the washing. Much better way to use your time. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys, our sensor has an alarm to let us know that it's ready. So yeah, you probably can't read it super clearly, but it's just come up with an alert that says ready and remove from heat now. So we're just going to press the dial to stop that cooking time because obviously we don't want to overcook it. And then we can continue on with the recipe. Before I do that, I'm just going to, I think Lisa's probably ready to pop her meatballs on. So we'll just quickly pop back to her and then we'll come back and finish off.
Yes, I am ready. As I said before, this recipe is super duper quick. So that was about 10 minutes of cooking. So I was just cleaning up the kitchen, rolling the meatballs, which took probably a minute or two, and then just waiting. So our next step is to place the varoma dish on top. So I'm going to take the simmering basket off. We've got our meatballs ready to go in the dish and the tray. It did say to roll 20. I rolled, I think, 21, so that's not too bad. And that's roughly what size they are. You can get a bit of an idea. So putting our varoma dish and tray back into position, putting our lid on top. Next. And it's going to cook 12 minutes, varoma temperature, speed 4. And then I've got my hands free again for 12 more minutes to go and do whatever I like.
Amazing. Thank you. Like I said, all this hands-free time, guys. Everyone needs it in their lives. Okay, so our pasta sauce has heated up now. So our next step, if we continue on with that, is just to add our pasta. So we're just going to remove the varoma again. So again, just tipping that upside down and sitting it on the bench for a minute, taking the lid off. And now we're just going to add in our pasta. So let's bring up the scales there. So for this, again, because I've halved it, we're just going to add in 180 grams of, it says short dried pasta. So you can use penne or anything. I'm just going to use little spirals tonight. And you're adding that directly into your sauce. And then we add, and then it just tells us to pop the lid back on, pop the varoma back on, and then cook for 10 to 12 minutes. Obviously, you just, depending on your pasta you've cooked. So I generally just use whatever the packet of the pasta that I'm using says, and then you can adjust it if you need to, add a little bit more time or whatever. So we'll just do 10 minutes varoma and reverse spoon speed, which is that slowest speed. So by putting it in reverse, obviously we're using guided cooking, so it's selecting it for us. But by putting it in reverse, our blades are running backwards. They're sharp on one side and blunt on the other. So by running backwards, it just means our pasta is not going to break up. And that's it then. That's our pasta done. And again, I'm hands-free to do anything else. And then we just combine it all at the end. So while that's doing its thing, we'll just finish off our pork as well. So we're just going to remove the varoma and set aside, and then discard the steaming water. So again, just going to do exactly the same thing. I'm running out of room here, like that. Let's set that down. So there are our carrots in there and our beautiful pork in there. So I'm just going to pop over to the sink to tip that out quickly. So the last little step of this recipe is just to turn what's left of the marinade into a delicious sauce to go on top of the pork. So really quick and easy again. What have I done there? I've skipped past it. So then we are just going to add the reserved marinade. It's going to make a mess now. So just what is left in that dish. So like I said before, you can use this recipe and you can do it. I've done it with chicken before, you know, some pork and then added extra chicken for the kids as well, if you prefer. And really at the end of the day, this is, I suppose what we're showing you now is like kind of the idea of layered cooking. But, you know, this you can use for anything, you know, as long as you have your liquid in the bottom, then, you know, whether it be sauce like this one or water like this one, and then you can just layer up from there. So, you know, you can do potatoes in your simmering basket, you can do rice in your simmering basket, and then, you know, your vegetables and your protein, whatever that looks like, whether it's chicken, pork, fish is another great one to pop in your varoma, and just layer it all up ready to go. So I'm just going to pop the lid back on. Does anyone have any questions about layered cooking? Please pop them in the chat box. And this time we're just going to pop the simmering basket on the top. And now we've just got 4 minutes at 212 Fahrenheit on speed 2. So while that's doing is what you would serve up your meal. So I think both of the other girls are still going on their cook time. So we'll just get all that organised. I'm just going to grab a plate real quick. Does anyone have any questions? Please pop them in the chat box if you do, whether it be about the deals, layered cooking, anything at all. We've got a couple of minutes while everything finishes, so feel free to pick our brains about anything. Like I said, we have our incredible favourites bundle at the moment. For anyone that purchases a TM6, you can grab the sensor, the blade cover peeler, which is great for peeling kind of any root veggies, potatoes, all those kind of things, and then acting as a blade cover for slow cooking, sous vide, all those other modes where you don't want your ingredients to hit the blades. And the glider board, which you've seen us all use tonight, is so handy to move your Thermomix around without damaging the scales. So the feet of your Thermomix are the scales, and if you anyone happens to drag the Thermomix along the bench, it will damage them. So the glider board is fantastic for avoiding that. So while your sauce is cooking, you're just going to plate up really your meal. Got your steamed carrots. You could add as well any other vegetables to your varoma. Again, guided cooking is just a guide. Feel free to, you know, add in, change whatever you want as far as vegetables when you are using layered cooking. You could add in, you know, some corn on the cob if you wanted, some broccoli, whatever your family likes, whatever you like, pop it in. And then just grab my pork. So we've just got the sensor in there that we can gently remove. And then we're just going to slice that up. Thermomix is just letting you know that the sensor's been removed as well. So again, very smart. They'll let you know everything. You can just slice it up to serve with your dinner. So if you wanted your pork kind of more well done, it does have the option for the sensor to increase the cook temperature. You can absolutely do that. It smells amazing, guys. I wish you could smell it. Yeah, you can still see just a tiny bit of pink in there for that medium cooked pork. I'm not doing a very good job of cutting that. And then we will just add the sauce when it's finished there. All right. So while everybody's just finishing, we've probably got another 5 or so minutes of everybody's cook time, and then we'll be finished and ready to show you the final products. Just a couple of things that I did want to cover as well tonight. Obviously, we've covered our offers. We do have a new 5% hum deposit, which has just started as well. And we also have earn for running. So if you are interested in getting a Thermomix in your kitchen, or even a second Thermomix, as you've seen tonight, I'm very lucky to have 2 Thermomixes in my kitchen. And so if you think a second one would help benefit you and your family, earn for is a great option. Earn for just means that when you join our team, you do all your training, you get your Thermomix, and then your first 4 sales in your first 60 days go towards kind of, I suppose, paying for your Thermomix. So yeah, just 4 sales in 60 days and your Thermomix is yours to keep free of charge, deposit refunded, as well as, you know, the gifts that you would get with it when you purchased, and a cutter as well you would also earn. So so many great reasons to join the team. Even if you've already got a Thermomix, guys, if you love it and you think, you know, you see what we do tonight and think you might be able to do it too, we would love to talk to you about joining our team. We have an amazing team. We're very lucky. Well, I'm very lucky as a team leader, I should say, to have such a great team, and we would love you to be a part of it. You can join, earn some really great commission and incentives. So that's the sauce. I'm just going to drizzle that over our pork. Is that done? Yeah, so whether you want to earn a Thermomix or whether you've got one, you love it, and you want to earn some extra income and some great incentives, please reach out to your consultant or to one of us. We would love to chat to you about that. What else do I want to cover tonight? Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to add in? That's pretty much it otherwise. So our gifts with purchase at the moment run until the 2nd of September, or while stocks last. So again, please reach out to your consultant if you've got any questions about them, you want to see more of any of them. We would love to show you how the peeler works, or a bit more about the sensor as well. And yes, please reach out to your consultant if you would like to know more about getting some host rewards. We do have the cutter available as a host reward now until the end of the year, which is very exciting. That's been hot property, the cutter. So many people have loved it and love getting it in their kitchen. So if you are interested in that, again, reach out and let us know. How are you going, Lisa? Yours should be just about finished with it.
I've got 2 more minutes.
Yes, perfect. So do I. And Jess, you're all going well there too?
Yep, all going well, but I've got about 13 to go.
Perfect. All right. We'll be doing well.
I was just going to say there was a question in the chat box about halving the recipes if you've got a TM5. And I was just going to say, when you use the scaled recipes on Cookie Do, it actually changes the cook times and the ingredients for you. So as soon as you just choose on the scaled, if you want to go up or down, it'll change it all for you.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, my pasta is just about done there. So I'm just going to put my chopping board away here from my pork, ready to plate up the pasta too.
You need to put the spotlight back on you too, Erin. They don't need to see me.
Okay, there we go. All right, so I'll put my pork aside for the minute. We've got about 30 seconds left there. What do you guys reckon with what you've seen so far? Are you inspired to try layered cooking a little bit more? Really kind of get the most of that hands-free time and having your meal all done at once, let us know. Pop it in the chat box. Or do any of the recipes look good for you to try so far? Obviously, you haven't seen them all finished yet, but what do you thinking might be nice on your meal plan? All right, so that is done. So now it's just telling us to combine the pasta, the vegetables, and the feta and serve immediately. So obviously, always when it's a bit different tonight because I'm coming from behind the Thermomix, so always when you're opening your room after steaming, make sure you open it away from you so you don't cop all of that steam in your face. So again, you'll be able to see, hopefully, all of those vegetables beautifully cooked in there. And so is our pasta. I'll try and show you without tipping it on the camera there. So it's quite a saucy recipe because then we're going to bulk it out with all of those extras. So I'm just going to pop them in the Thermomix bowl.
Erin,
Yeah.
what's the pasta recipe called in Cookie Do?
It is, I think it's just tomato pasta with vegetables.
Okay.
Oh, I can see it on my screen actually. Here, I'm trying to remember. Yes. Tomato pasta with vegetables and feta. Thanks, Eva. Right, so I'm just going to mix all of those up in there and then grab my bowl. What did I do with my bowl? Oh, glass. So then we're just going to plate all that. So you can see even though I have that dish to four, there's quite a bit in there. So yeah, if you were cooking for a smaller group, perhaps definitely use that recipe scaling function. Or if you're looking for a recipe, you know, to feed for guests when you have quite a few people coming over, this one is a great one. So there we go. There from me is that pork tenderloins with carrots and pesto potatoes and the tomato pasta with vegetables and feta. What do you reckon, guys? They look pretty amazing, don't they? And then we've got obviously all of that pesto as well. So like I said, that made a huge amount and you can just pop that in the fridge. You can pop a little bit of oil over it and that will keep for quite a while to use as you could use it as a dip. The pesto potatoes, guys, let me tell you, when you try them, you'll be addicted to them and you'll probably just make potatoes the next week just so you can eat them. Use all your pesto. But yes, you could use it as a pasta sauce. Just type pesto into Cookie Do and you'll find a whole heap of recipes that you'll be able to use it on. There's a really nice pesto, chicken and pesto risotto. Can recommend that. And there's a couple of pastas and all different kinds of recipes to use up your ingredients. All right, so let's pop back to Lisa and then we're just about done, guys.
Yes, mine's just finished. Like, it smells amazing. I forgot to mention before, this recipe is from the Meals in a Flash collection on Cookie Do. And there's I think there's 97 recipes in that collection. And they're really, really good and super fast as well. So here are our meatballs. I'm not sure if you can see them from there. So I'm just going to pop them into my thermal server. And the ones in the dish. So this will be our dinner tomorrow night. We're going to have meatball subs, which I'm sure the kids will greatly appreciate. And the great thing is the veggies in here that they don't really see. So it's getting some nice veg into them as well. I'm just going to pour that over the top of our meatballs. And give that a bit of a stir. And there's our meatballs all good to go. I'm not sure if you can see with the steam, but they'll just go in the fridge and we'll have them tomorrow night for dinner. Like I said earlier, you can have them with, you know, some mashed potato, pasta. You can even do zoodles or something like that if you wanted something a bit healthier. But we're just going to have them meatball subs.
Yum. Amazing. Thanks so much, Lisa. Yeah, a great recipe again where you cook the sauce and then layer up the meatballs that you've made from scratch. So thank you so much, Lisa. What is your social media again, Lisa? Sorry, you too.
myself. Thermomix for 6.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So please go ahead and give Lisa a follow, Thermomix for 6 on Instagram and Facebook. We'll head back to Jess and hopefully we are not too far behind on hers.
All right, so I still have about 7 minutes to go, but I could stop it and show you how it's looking. I might do that because...
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So as anyone would know, if you need to stop your machine at any point, you can just press the silver button in. And it's just going to take another 15 seconds just to cool down. But it is smelling delicious here. So I'm going to show you in here. So that's our rice and our mushrooms. So you can see how the rice is really soaked up all the water. Just don't want to drop it. And really starting to get nice and fluffy in there. And in the bowl here is our beautiful pork.
Yum.
So if you can see it in there. So it's looking delicious and it's got a nice amount of sauce in there as well. As I said, it's got about 7 minutes left, which will just be perfecting the cooking, I suppose. But to serve up, we would just put some rice, some pork with some of the sauce on top and some sesame seeds. And then I'd probably just serve it with maybe some broccolini or something like that. But yeah, it's smelling delicious and really easy. This whole time, as Erin said, I've just been standing here waiting because, yeah, I would have had plenty of time to be folding washing, bathing kids, doing whatever. So really very little hands-on time for this one.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Jess. I need to try that one myself. I haven't actually made that one before, but it looks so good and so easy. There was about 3 hands-on steps in that recipe?
Yeah, that was about all. And also my usual trick, I've never made this one either. So it is really easy just to do with guided cooking. I've heard lots of really good reviews, but I hadn't had a chance to make it yet. So that was enough.
Can't wait to hear how it finishes off and how it tastes tomorrow night.
Yeah, it'll be our dinner tomorrow night.
Perfect. So another one of the massive benefits, guys, of joining the team and being a part of this is that, you know, you can cook your dinner and make your life even easier, work when the kids are in bed and have dinner sorted for the next night. So again, that is my tomato pasta with vegetables and feta, and then that pork tenderloin with carrots and pesto potatoes. So that is everything from us tonight, guys. A big, big thank you for you all for coming along and watching. We really hope that you've learned something new to help you get the most out of your Thermomix, or those of you who are thinking about investing in a TM6 or upgrading to a TM6. We hope that this has helped answer some questions for you. Your consultant will reach out to you tomorrow to ask if you've got any questions and do a little bit of follow-up with you. But again, please feel free to reach out to them if you have got questions or you want anything at all. But again, thank you so much. I am Erin O'Brien. I am the Thermo Loving Mum on Facebook and Instagram. Or Jess, we didn't cover you again. Jess is Thermi Life on the Farm on Facebook and Instagram. So please, if you are on those and interested in following along a few different people for some more inspiration and new ideas, please do that. We would absolutely love to show you some more different ideas. So thank you again. We hope to see you on our next class, and yeah, reach out if you need anything. Thanks so much, everyone.